For this firing, we made a mixture of forms, some that are part of our standardware collection, for example, cups and mugs, and then others that are either a variation or a continuation of forms.
We were really experimenting with using inlaid porcelain, which we'd never really done before. We were interested in kind of adding surface pattern by cutting into the clay and then essentially injecting liquid filling liquid porcelain into the grooves and then smoothing it out again. Feels like the start of something, doesn't it? It feels like the start of future work and playing with the level of detail that we want to include in the inlaying.
The faceting happens when the clay is very wet, and then you continue to throw it to create the form, and that's something that we don't often do, and it's quite a nice freedom to the pot compared to our usual work, which is a little more controlled.
Yeah, the freedom is quite important. A lot of the forms that we've made here have a little bit more expression.
We've enjoyed making a few different variations of teapot for this firing. We often put one or two teapots in a gas kiln and don't end up selling them, but keeping them to use at home or as references for future things.
Yeah.
So it's been fun this time to make, still playfully, but with the idea of adding to a collection.
And I like adding the iron to the pale blue chung glaze, either over the top of the glaze or underneath it. And although before it's fired, it can look quite strange and stark, you see that when it has been fired, it just adds this little bit more surface variation, and I don't know what the word is, like,
There's just more movement in
yeah,
the pot.
movement, because the glaze moves and the iron sort of illustrates that really beautifully.
At about 900 degrees, we start reduction for the clay body reduction, and this gives that kind of nice colour variation in the clay and often brings out slightly reddy, darker tones depending on the clay body. The kiln is fired with flames, with gas-fueled flame. The flame requires oxygen to burn, and if we starve the kiln of oxygen by cutting off any open inlets into the kiln, the flame searches for oxygen inside the clay body or in the glaze materials, and this creates a different type of chemical reaction.
Yeah, and it makes the glazes go those really beautiful celadon greens and blues, or glazes that don't even have any added colourant to them, which is actually a lot of the glazes in this kiln. I think as a ceramicist, opening any kiln, no matter how many times you've repeated the process, is exciting. But somehow when you are unloading a firing like this, where you have had to sort of actually brick up the door and fire it for 12 hours and be with it and then come away and let it cool down for a few days, taking the brick out one by one and revealing the contents of the kiln just feels so much more exciting and dramatic. feels like a celebration of this time of year when you can just sit in the garden and the garden is full of the most beautiful flowers and you can just drink tea.